All right, I just wanted to show you a little bit about my presentation decks and how you can edit them in Canva to work for you. So I have one of them open. This is balancing blood sugar. So everything on all of the presentation decks and all of my products really are completely editable here in Canva, even with a free Canva account. So you can change colors, the text, the font, you can add your business information, logos, whatever you want, swap out pictures, all that good stuff. So for instance, this one, even though I made all of my decks to be really kind of like a muted minimalist design, if you want to change them out for your brand colors, for instance, um, on this front side here, you would just click on it, highlight it, and then you can come over here and if you have a custom brand color, you can type it in here. If you wanted to use like a brown or something else, you can just do that right there. So that would give you some different options. If you have like a blue, that's really pretty. Um, so that's how you would change colors, and you can do that throughout the whole presentation deck. And you'll see I just have a little bit of color on each page on the titles. So right here we have that same light green color. So if you wanted to go and change that again to your brand colors, you would just either type in a specific color there, or you could, we gotta highlight it, I think, and then you can click on that and it'll change to whatever color you'd like. And then if you do something and you don't like it, like you're like, I think I'd rather stick with that green, you can just click the undo arrow and it'll change it back. So that is just starting off one way you can begin to customize this. Same thing, if you have a specific font that you use for your brand, you can highlight this. You can come over here and change that to different fonts. So just click that. Some fonts are bigger than others, so you might have to adjust the sizing a little bit once you do change it. Or the capital letters, like that one's all capital, but that's really not meant to be an all capital font. So that's one thing you can do. You can come up here and adjust the size of things, but you might have to play around with it a little bit to get it just right. You can also do that by dragging the corners of the box that way. I'm going to put undo because I don't want to change that. Down here on every slide deck, I have a little spot where you can put your website, just so when you're presenting it, people see that right off the bat. And then moving on, this is another really customizable page. So an About Me page, you can add your name, any titles or certification that you want to put on there. You can upload a picture, so that looks like this. You just find, well, you would upload whatever pictures you have of yourself on your desktop that you want to use, and then you just go to upload files here, and it allows you to choose files to bring into Canva. So I've already got several in here, so then it's just a matter of dragging it over into the little frame. And when it'll kind of, oh, let me grab it. Let me delete that. It should kind of grab it here. There it goes. That's what these little scenic pictures are. They're frames so that any photo that you drag into there should fit that exact shape. So this one you can see if you zoom in a little bit, it cut off the top of my head slightly. So all you do then is click on it, and then you can go to this little crop icon, and then that allows you to drag it up or down however you need. So then you would just drag it down a little bit, click done, and you can see now it's nice and centered. And then same with this one, when I did these presentations, I put a picture of me and my family right there. But you could do anything that you wanted. You know, you could do another picture of yourself. You could do it of your office or really anything, just like a nice um, foodscape or tablescape, you know, about nutrition, that sort of thing, can go there. But like I said, I use this one for my headshot and then this one for my family. And then these are just little bullet points. You can add a few fun or interesting facts about yourself so that you can introduce yourself to your audience. And if you know, if you don't want to include that or you don't have this same amount, you can just completely delete this box like that. Or you can just go in here and delete however many bullets that you don't want, or you can add bullets if you need to. So I'm going to undo all of that because this is the live template, so other people access this. And then this is, again, on all of my presentation decks, I have a little disclaimer here, which you should have too if you are a health coach. Everything is totally editable on here. So if you have a disclaimer that you like to use, you can swap that out. You can edit this however you see fit, or you can just leave it as is. Each of my decks has a table of contents at the beginning, just so you can go through with your audience or your client, you know, and kind of let them know what to expect, what you're going to be covering. That's here. Again, completely editable. So if you do end up adding a page in the presentation or anything like that, changing a section, taking one out, you can get rid of these or add new ones. And then we move on into the presentation. So just talking about, you know, the introduction here, why blood sugar balance matters. All of this is completely editable. So if you don't like something in the text here, you can edit that. You can add points, take out points, make it yours however you'd like. Like we showed before, you can change the font here, the colors. You can change the font here if it matches your brand better, or you can just leave it as is. All of the pictures on here can be used with a free Canva account, but if you don't like them, you can go over to Elements and then you can search whatever image that you might like to put in there. So I did like healthy plate a lot. Or you could do like a scale here for balanced blood sugar. And then when you're searching, Canva will give you options for graphics, actual photos, videos, etc. My personal preference is real photos, but you know, some of these graphics are great too if that's your style. So you can always swap those out. Just not, if you have a free account, you can't use the ones with the crown unless you upgrade. But this would be some examples. So then you would just come over here, you can delete this photo and swap in whatever photo you'd like. And then another helpful thing when you are looking for photos, you can put some filters on them. So, you know, in this case, a vertically aligned photo would probably make sense. So you would just set that filter and then it's going to pull up just vertically aligned photos. So then you could, you know, add that over there if you wanted. And then another feature that I think some people miss when it comes to my decks is that there are presenter notes for just about every slide. So the first few, there are no notes because there's, you know, it's really just something you could quickly explain. But the actual slides with content on them themselves all have notes. And so as you can see, I just found that over here on the left bottom, there's a little thing that says notes. You just click on it and it pops up. So these are just example scripts. It kind of gives you like a summary of what the slide is and what you'd want to be talking about. And then there's an actual example script in here that you could follow. You can just literally go through word for word and it'll cover what, points are summarized here on the page. But this again is completely editable. So even, if you wanted to change, if you didn't like what this says or you want to customize it a little more, you can totally edit that and have it work for you. And then it looks like they have some little like AI type features here that will edit it for you a little. I haven't used that. So that's kind of fun. And when you're presenting if you're presenting through Canva, these will pop up on the side. I think they come up on the right side, but I think you can swap them to either side so that when you're presenting, you can be reading these, but your audience won't see them. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, most of my presentation decks are, like I said, very minimalist design, very simply designed. So if you are wanting to make edits, it's easy to do. You can do it quickly and easily. But other than that, most of the slides, it's kind of the same idea. You can swap out pictures, change colors or text or font. And they all have notes over here on the left that again can be edited. And then you just kind of go on through. You can, if you wanted to add a slide about something, you can easily just duplicate the page and then you could swap out the photo and text or content, whatever you're planning, or you can add a blank page and start from scratch. So that's kind of cool. If you don't want to discuss something in one of the decks, you would just put delete page. I think what else? Just moving on through. Most of these will not need very many edits. And then at the end, of course, you could put another picture of yourself there. You can update your contact information here. So the group you're presenting to you can tell them to take a picture with their phone or they just know how to get in touch with you here. You could add anything else that you want here as well. So that's quickly kind of talking about how you can best edit these to suit your needs and your brand. I want to cover also real quick what else comes with every presentation slide deck. So each deck comes with a 1-week meal plan. So we'll open up that one. So this is the one for balanced blood sugar. They all correlate to whatever topic the presentation deck is covering. So again, these are fully customizable. You can click on anything. You can change colors like that. You can change the font here. Just, highlight it like that. Click on here. And then if you have a specific brand font that you want to use, you can select that or type it in over here. You can change the font size. I don't know if you'd really want to. This is all fitting on here pretty well. You can, if you don't like the photo, you can swap that out. Same with the logo here this is just kind of a placeholder, but if you want to add your own logo, that would be a really good place. So you would just highlight this. You could just highlight it all and delete it. And then you could have yours uploaded over here and drag it over there. So that's a place you can put your logo. If you don't want it, you can do like I did and just delete it and leave it like that. Down at the bottom is a place to put your website that you can quickly add just to associate it to your business. And then again, we move on to the plan where there's a really minimalist design. And that was all on purpose. Number one, to make it easy for you to edit if you needed to, but also if your clients like to print things out or you like to print things out like I do, I didn't want there to be a bunch of ink and colors and requirements for printing. So it's very basic. You could honestly even just leave the text and delete the boxes behind it if you just wanted it black and white. But I think this makes it look nice and simple and a little more organized with the boxes in here. But they're all editable, customizable. So again, just highlight the field that you're wanting to change. You can go in and click it. Let's find this one. And then a really quick shortcut you can do if you do want to change your entire thing to your brand colors. Down here, after you change one section, it will give you the option to change them all. So any section that's green, you can change them all to this turquoise. So if you did want to do that throughout the whole document, you just click that and then you can see it change all of the green parts to turquoise. Even on the front page. But I'm going to leave them green. There we go. And you can change the font, the sizing, any of the instructions. If you wanted to swap out a certain meal for a single day, like let's say your client has a food allergy or something like that, you can come in here and edit. Let me expand this a little. You could come in here and change this to whatever you want. So, I would say grilled beef. That doesn't make a lot of sense, but just to give you an example, we'll leave it at chicken for this, but everything's editable. And this is what all the meal plans look like that come with the presentation deck. And then on the last page, you're going to find the shopping lists. They're all broken down like this, again, completely editable. All right, so every presentation deck comes with a client workbook that coordinates with the slides and the information you're covering. And so that looks like this. Everything is totally customizable, so you could go through and do your brand color swaps if you'd like. If you're okay with the green, you can just leave that there, but we'll just go through this again. You can use this shortcut to change all of them. I don't know why you wouldn't want to change all of them, but I guess on this one, it's just it's just the first page that has the colors. And again, this is just in case your client wants to print out their worksheet, if they like to do it by hand. Then they're not wasting a bunch of ink printing, pictures of food and all kinds of different colorful things I normally see in workbooks. So very simple for that purpose. And also easy for you to customize. I mean, if you did want to have more color to it, you could even change the background. That wouldn't be the greatest color choice, but if you had a brand color like that or a brown or something like that, you could do that to coordinate with your brand like that. So, but we will just leave it white. And we'll put those back to normal. There we go. This you can change the font and the text on here if you didn't like it, add your website info or business information there, swap this out for your logo, or just delete it if you don't want to put your logo on there. But so yeah, each section in here just helps, them to kind of go through the presentation deck with you. You could even use this just as a standalone workbook. So that comes with each deck as well. And then each presentation deck also comes with an additional resource handout that you can give to your clients. When I was coaching, I'd always have people ask, if there were books or things they could read or listen to kind of further their understanding. So it's just kind of an added bonus that you can offer your clients. So these are just a few pages long, but again, you can completely customize these, your brand colors, the font, the text, your logo, your business info. You can swap out the pictures if you don't like that one. And then you could even, if you do have a favorite resource, you could add it in here or remove any of the ones that I put in there and customize it even further. So you would just delete, then you could type, whatever you'd want to add in there and make it yours. So that is what all of these come with, the slide deck, the meal plan, the client workbook, and then the additional resource guide.